Do you talk to yourself and look crazy? Actually, anymore with people with cell phones and things in their ears, you never know. It looks almost normal anymore, but people used to think that it was a sign of mental illness, people talking to themselves. Now it's everyone doing it, but it's a really good thing. So let's talk about today, September 10th. It is day 254, 112 days left in 2024, and we are almost 70% complete with the year. So today, September 10th, here is your passage. And where's the passage from? Dr. Shad Helmstetter's book, 365 Days of Positive Self-Talk for Finding Your Purpose. So we're going to read about having talks with yourself and how it can change your brain in just a minute. But first, let's read the passage. The more I focus on making each day a day of purpose, enrichment, and fulfillment, the better I do and the happier I am. Let's spin that around. The more you focus on making each day a day of purpose, enrichment, and fulfillment, the better you do and the happier you are. I think that's a really empowering phrase, passage, because you're telling your brain, they all are. All of these, as I've mentioned before, if you've been following me, that and listening to these, that they are very empowering. Because here it is, the more I focus, so the more you focus on making each day a day of purpose, it's a focus, it's a choice. Choosing to make your day a day of purpose, enrichment, and fulfillment, the better you do and the happier you are. I am here to help you find your purpose. When you can actually create a goal to help you to find your purpose, it's a beautiful, it's purpose gives you meaning and it gives you direction. And let's look at the purpose as your overarching mission for why you're here. Why are you here? Why did you come to planet Earth? What is it that you want to do? And so when you focus on making your day a part of like a day of purpose, like not just even leaning towards your purpose, but a purposeful day, like with intention to live fully, or anything that is to be healthy, to change your self-talk from negative to positive, to anything, to help someone, anything at all, to smile more, all of those things. The more that you focus on that and you're focusing on enrichment and fulfillment, I swear, this city, to me, I'm in Amarillo, Texas, and I have seen more, call them muscle cars, but they're like Trans Ams, or they're Corvettes, I don't even know. Are there even Trans Ams anymore? That's what they remind me of. But they're all souped up and they're so loud. And I have never in my entire life ever seen as many or heard as many as here in Amarillo, Texas. It's like, wow, you cannot get on the freeway without one going passing you or behind you, or it's like, man, I need some earplugs. And I used to ride my Harley all the time and I loved it. And then I loved my brain more, so I didn't ride it anymore. I didn't ride it for a few years, then I sold it to my brother. And but anyway, it was so noisy, and it was like, to me, it was so cool. And I know that people who ride Harleys and these people who have the cars, they wouldn't be souping up their cars if they didn't love it. So anyway, I don't know how that ties into anything, but I just had to say something because that was really loud. I don't know if you heard it. The freeway is so close right here. So we were talking about focusing and putting, having that intention on enrichment and fulfillment in your day, and that purpose, having a purposeful day, whether it involves your purpose or not. Hopefully it does, because our purpose almost always involves helping others in some way. And so the better you do and the happier you are. So it is so specific, these passages. They're telling your brain how to be, how to help you. Your brain is your tool. It is the most amazing, shiny, bright tool ever on planet Earth in a 3D world. So what I teach, did I introduce myself? My name is Lenny Wennerstrom. I'm a spiritual guide and mentor and a self-talk trainer and life coach. So, but anyway, I don't think I did. but my point is, the more that this brain, the more that you put good stuff in it, like self-talk, that is positive, and I don't mean just thinking positive. Thinking positive is wonderful, but if it's not, it's kind of like an affirmation, and it's really funny. Dr. Shad Helmstetter, he really explains the difference between affirmations and Dr. Shad Helmstetter is my mentor, by the way, and I'm certified through his academy as a self-talk trainer and also as a life coach. So just so you know who I'm speaking of, this is this cute little gentleman right here in this book that is well worn, very well worn and used. And this self-talk, the brain, when you oh, and I was talking about what I teach. So the spiritual, so I teach practical spirituality, and half of it, or one leg, is the spiritual journey. The other half is the human experience. I have not found in all my years anything more important than the brain for the human experience. Why? Because it is your computer for how you are finding your life experience and creating your reality. If you think, and I use this a lot because I love this quote, and it is attributed to Henry Ford, but I've done some research and it's like other people have said it different ways and all of that. But so I always say it's attributed to Henry Ford. It doesn't really matter. The point is, whether you say you can or can't or you can't, you're right. And that is your self-talk. It's your self-belief. It's your belief that you can do something or not. And it is your self-talk, your computer, your brain, that is telling you that is what it is true for you. So Lynette just texted me saying that her reel is done. Cosmicmoves.com, our daughter. So she's doing a challenge of the houses, to explain the houses and how they work. And I love that. I think together we'll probably do something together because it really is such a great tool. It's another tool, just like self-talk. So back to the brain. The brain, it literally, you, just like in your computer, you can type absolutely in on the keyboard, absolutely anything. True, false, harmful, anything. You can type anything. Look at all the trolls on social media. They type in these things about other people and stuff like that. Are they true? I mean, I don't even know if they're real people or if they're just trying to create issues or drama or whatever. But the point is it true for that person, not the troll person? Is it true for the person that they type about? Like if somebody types something negative about me, is that true? Well, only if I say it's true, then it would be true for me. So if you think you can do something or you think you can't, it's true. It is your self-talk that is what is telling you what is the truth. So, my friends, so this is so key to finding success in every single area of your life. Your self-talk, to tell you that you can do something, that you are telling yourself, I got this. You know, my situation here with my husband, you know, truly, I don't know if he's end of life, if he's moving into end of life, or he's somewhere in between, or he's going to get better. From day to day, I do not know. And I'll give you another update at the end. But my self-talk, and I told you when we first came here that I was going to show you how I was going to flow through this. And I am flowing through it. Some days it can be, I can feel very weary. Like this morning, I felt so weary. Why? Because he just got another line. If you've been with me, and so I apologize if you haven't been, but he literally pulled from his jugular, it went up to this jugular to, it comes out here, and it was a tunnel, they call it a tunnel catheter, and he ripped it out. He ripped it out, and he had just gotten it. I was with him in the hospital like 6 hours, and it didn't take that long to put it in. It's just anyway, the point is it took a really long time. It was a long day, and then I leave him, and an hour later, he rips it out. I'm like, I was numb. I was numb. It's like he's pulled out so many things, and blood everywhere on some of them, and other. It's just that it's almost like, I just get kind of numb. But I'm telling you how I'm flowing through this, because you can excel in times of change. This is immense change in my life, because I have no idea. I'm in this limbo situation, as is our daughter, Lynette, the one I just said, cosmicmoves.com. But if you look on her Instagram, you'll see her challenge of the houses. I put that in because I always want to plug her stuff, because she has helped me immensely, just seeing where the planets are when things are happening, and also with her dad, like where his planets and stuff are, and the decisions he's making, and the things that are influencing it. So, but anyway, that flowing through and excelling when you have change in your life it's a choice. And this whole thing of what we're reading today, the more I focus on making each day a day of purpose, enrichment, and fulfillment, the better I do, the happier I am. I focus on those things. It's a choice. It is totally a choice. I was going to read, and I better read this one because I said I was going to. But before I do, I just want to make sure that you understand that everything that we do are programs that we are running in our mental programs, and they are programs. The computer, they are programs. This beautiful brain inside of our minds, first of all, it's like 70% fat. So you got to be eating good fat to keep that working and lower the sugar. I literally have just finally been able to get my hubby on keto. God, I was vegan for so long, and then I went. It's a really interesting thing, but understanding the studies and all of that, it's just something that's. I really believe that is going to help him and free up his mind to help that. But so that brain, 70% fat, so giving it the right nutrients, and part of the nutrients is the right self-talk. So if you have self-talk that is negative, and it is false, and it is harmful, and it is counterproductive to you, you're going to live a very false, negative, low frequency type of life. If you're thinking these negative thoughts that maybe you're living in fear because you think this, the world is going to end because this is going to happen, or whatever. I mean, things are happening in the world. Yet it's your perspective of what they are that changes everything. So this whole thing of being intentional and purposeful and enriching your life and trying to live a life that is filled with fulfillment in your days, each day, is really powerful. And the message you're sending to your brain. So your self-talk, and I'm constantly, and I will always promote Dr. Shad's self-talk app, because it is a language. It is the language of positive self-talk. That language will change your life. Why will it change your life? Because it changes your mental programs from negative to positive. So it's really, it's the most powerful thing that I have ever found for the human experience. If your programs, if you think you can't, or you think you can, you're right. And you can change your programs from thinking you can't, because that's been the program, the false program, when it first was recorded into your brain, and then it got repeated. You can't do this, you can't do that. That can never happen. That is not possible. You're not tall enough, you're not good enough, you don't have enough money. And maybe at the moment you don't have enough money, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have enough money in a year or in 2 weeks. But it gets into our psyche of we're not good enough. We live in a state of lack when we're doing that. It's truly we live in an abundant universe. So if you feel that you are in lack, then you are living a low frequency life, and you're not living your potential, because you have unlimited potential. You were born with unlimited potential. You were born. with absolutely unlimited promise and potential to be, to become, to create, to have absolutely anything, to change anything in your life. You were born with that. You were born with that, and you still have that. It's just covered by negative programs. So 77% of our programs are those false, negative, and counterproductive, and even harmful programs. 77% in most of us, and probably more of our conscious minds, our subconscious mind, which is driving our just when we are not thinking, and we're, especially at night when you're watching television, it's programming you because you're tired, so you're letting it in. Your brain, the subconscious, is going into your subconscious mind. This is why it's like, oh, I think I want a pizza. All of a sudden, I'm hungry. Or, it's 11 o'clock at night, and you're wanting, I don't know whatever they're putting on, and so it's because it's getting into your subconscious mind. So, and it's programming it. So be real careful what you have on at night when you when you're tired. So this is and choose, like, put on the self-talk, put on your self-talk app, and choose to do that. Put on self-esteem, choose listening to that, and let that get easily programmed into your subconscious mind. These programs, rewiring your brain, neuroplasticity is simply your brain is constantly rewiring itself, meaning all the neural pathways, all the transmitters, all the neural circuitry is changing, like the electric wires in a house, and they're moving and changing them, and all of a sudden one light's over here and now it lights over there because they changed the circuitry. You're doing the same thing with your brain by changing it, and you are able to do that. Every single one of us is able to do that. This is why I say the brain, for the human experience on planet Earth, there is nothing more important, because you can choose to love more openly. This is the heart, like loving and being open, all of those things. If you have programs that are wanting to help others, and it just works because your heart is magnetic. Your thinking, your thoughts are electric. So, but it all puts out a frequency, and wherever you are, it's putting out, whether positive, negative, or somewhere in between. So this whole thing of rewiring your brain to the programs that work for you, that help you to be more productive, more organized, successful in your relationships, successful in your health and fitness, in your weight, however you feel your weight needs to be, and in your financial strength and where you want to be financially, and all of those things, your personal development, in your career, in making good choices, in managing your time, in mastering goal setting, like absolutely anything, selling, all of it, recovering from whatever. We're always recovering from something, right? Every single one of us is recovering. So it doesn't just mean addicts or anything, but it's really good for that self-talk for recovering. So, it's it all, and underneath it all is a self-esteem. It's the foundation. And so it lifts you, it empowers you, it feels good, and you can pass that on. You can share, like, and when I say pass it on, I mean literally, if you are positive, you are radiating positivity, and it's not just positive thinking. No, you are actually creating the neural circuitry, all the circuits in your brain that say, I'm a winner, I can do this, I'm amazing, I'm good enough, I have enough resources, and what I don't have right now, I'm creative, so I'll figure out a way to do that in the next month or the next year. I'll create my business, or I will, whatever it is. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to have a cooking show. I'm going to, whatever it is, I got this. I can do it. I can excel in times of change. That's the book, the title of Dr. Shad Helmstetter's book, that I love, because I have been excelling in times of change. I've got a major shift. We all have change, because if we don't have change, we don't grow. If we're not learning, we're not growing. If we don't have something that doesn't feel good to us, we're not going to have the contrast of knowing what does feel good to us. So this whole thing of focusing on this passage of, I focus on making each day a day of purpose, enrichment, and fulfillment. The better I do and the happier I am. The more you do that, that is empowering. That is self-empowering. That is choosing choices. You know, Dr. Shad, in one of his books, oh, it's Choices, actually, that's the name of it. I love his books. He's so good. That guy is so good. But the book Choices, he talks about, I mean, many things he talks about, but he talks about, do we have free will or do we have choices? And the reason that he even asks that question or puts that question out there is because we run on programs. Like, I'm talking to you right now and you're receiving it through your programs. And if you talk to me in what you're listening to me, you're hearing my programs. Here's the really cool part. I'm choosing my programs. I'm choosing my beliefs. I'm choosing my attitudes about that. Remember this cascading, right? It's, I don't know how to go this way or go this way, but oh, I feel like I'm doing my Catholic stuff. The sign of the cross. But truly, it's your programs. Then you have your programs will create your beliefs. So whatever your beliefs are, remember I was talking about a couple of days ago about being a Catholic, and my belief was I was Catholic, even though I resisted a lot of the things because it just didn't sit well with me. I told everyone, if anybody said, well, what religion are you? I'm Catholic. Easy, just came out. It was a program, and so that's a program. And then I had an attitude about that. So it works. Your programs, then they create your beliefs. Your beliefs create your attitudes about that, whatever that is, whether it be religion or politics or financial stuff, rich people, poor people, sick people, healthy people, skinny people, fat people. These are beliefs. These are programs. And then you have your beliefs. And then think about your attitude, whatever that is, your attitude about that. And then the attitude creates your feelings about it. And you feel these emotions around it. And then then you have whatever it is, the action that you take around that, and then your outcome, whatever your results of whatever that is, it just flows like that. So if you change your programs, again, so exciting, here comes that limo. You change your programs, which you are in charge of. You're talking to my programs. I have chosen as many programs as I can possibly choose for in many ways. And I continue to choose those every single day. I listen to self-talk all the time, sometimes many times. This morning, I was listening to, which one did I listen to? Taking Control of Your Life. I needed to take control of my life with Steve in the hospital. I'm like, I felt a little bit like I needed to regain control. And it just lifted me. And there's one called Super Coach, which is so good. It's like having somebody, rah, you're amazing, you are fantabulous, you can do anything. It's not exactly like that because it's very specific, because it's all about rewiring your brain. But it does feel really good. It's like, you know who I'm talking about, this confident, amazing person, you know who I'm talking about, it's you. And I'm like, yeah, take a look in the mirror and see how amazing you are. And I look in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm doing good. So it just helps you to feel good about yourself. And just when you first start, there's a lot of positivity. More importantly, it rewires your brain so that it becomes permanent. Permanent programs, permanent positivity, permanent success in every single area of your life that you choose. You choose it all. You choose your programs. So when you're talking to me, you are talking to my programs, or when you're listening to me, you're listening to my programs, and I am programming you because you're choosing to, it just happens. And if I listen to you, I am listening to your programs, and I am being programmed. This is why you literally choose your friends so carefully. Who do you want to be around? People who are negative and bring you down, and are people who are not, who don't care about the things that you care about, that you value, like health, financial strength, relationships that are important, that you're maybe very family oriented and all of that, and they care more about just themselves, and they want to go do things on their own and not with you or not with the family or whatever. I mean, whatever your values are, look for that in others, and get the self-talk program. I always have it. You can get 30 days free. After that, it's $19.99, and you can have up to 6 peeperoos on it, your family, and have up to 6 peeperoos on there. And so it's a super generous offer, and you can have this whole household that is all self-talk, or you can have, like, someone you're dating, and they're listening to self-talk and you're listening to self-talk, and just think about how you can grow together, how you're changing your understanding. I am in control of my programs. I get to change my programs, which change my beliefs, which change my attitudes about things. And just think about politics. It is so divisive. And let's go to the spiritual for a second here, because we are all one. We are literally all one. We are just individual expressions of the one. We're individual expressions of that immense intelligence, that infinite, masterful intelligence, infinite in all its goodness and awesomeness and all that stuff. We are one with that, because here we are, but we are individual expressions. So hang out with the individual expressions. It's just a matter of degree of the whole of that, and then here we are, individual expressions. But we all go back to that. So you look at that, you take the spiritual part, and then you think, okay, well, now I'm on planet Earth, because you're both the spirit and the human at the same time. You're both that, but just here, this is your individual experience. What are you going to do with it? Like, you focus on it, you change, you decide on your programs, you decide on the peeperoos you want to hang out with. Think about being, like, if you're a woman, you're with the guy that cares about his programs, that they're positive, that he can do it. He can be, it's so fun to be with someone that I am so inspired by my clients or other peeperoos, or just, I am so inspired. You think about someone who's so confident and they know what they're saying and where they're going, and it's like, you feel good being around. I feel good being around people like that. Most of us feel good being around people like that. Because that is our normal state. To be unhappy and dissatisfied, those are low frequency emotions. And so I'm going in between the the spiritual. I'm trying to decide spiritual, human experience of what I teach in my practical spirituality. I'm going in between both of them, but both looking at them from both ways of what I'm talking about. But that whole thing of choosing your programs so that you're with someone that has those values that you have, whether it be family or financial or spiritual or religion. I'm not putting down any religions at all, because everything has a value on planet Earth. Everything has value everywhere. Like, everything has value. So because even in the things that don't feel good, there's contrast. Now all of a sudden here's this over here, and there's this over here, and it's like, where do you want to be? Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want, because you are manifesting 24/7. You are always attracting. Your heart, magnetic. You can push stuff away like a magnet, or you can pull it to you. And when you have self-talk that's so positive, and people hear it, you're like a magnet. They want to be with you. They want to be around you. They feel good when they're around you, because you're positive and it feels good. That's our normal state. To be happy is our normal state. When we're unhappy, and I'm not talking about like when my hubby is almost dying, or you may have somebody who's almost died, and I have my mother die, and you know, I had a flood, in here in the RV, and maybe you get into a car accident, or whatever it is, stub your toe. It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about that you always have to be in a state of happiness. It's in a state of control. It's in the state of choosing your programs. It's in the state of your beliefs, because your programs are so solid that everything is going to be okay, because you got this. You got this here on planet Earth. You got this. no matter what it is. You can excel in times of change. That's what I was talking about, Dr. Shad's book. You can excel in times of change. And you can. Because did I ever finish about the choices? Sometimes I have to go back and I see and I didn't finish, but the choices he was talking about, is it free will or is it choices because of our programs? And because the programs are so, they're so strong, and we're talking to somebody's programs, they're talking to ours. So are the choices and the choices that we're making, is that our free will or is that our programs running? So what if we changed our programs, then what would our free will look like? Because then what would our choices look like? They'd be like way better because we'd be empowered. I got this. I can excel, and I keep saying I can excel in times of change, because that's what moves us. Change is what moves us to do something new, create something new. We have to move sometimes out of our comfort zone to create something that's new and wonderful, and or do something or change something. It might be getting out of a relationship or getting into a relationship. It might be getting into a new job. It might be deciding to become an entrepreneur and start your online business or whatever, even a brick and mortar business. It doesn't matter. Whatever, it's like, wow, there's a risk involved with that. Well, you can say, well, how do I perceive risk? Well, your programs will tell you how you perceive risk. Like, oh no, I'd never do that. That's a program. Where'd that program come from? It doesn't really matter. Start listening to self-talk app, and you're going to start saying, like, I got this. I take risks, but I do my research. I know where I'm at. I am confident with who I am. I know that I'm going to make good decisions. And when I need to make decisions very quickly, I do that. I think through it, and I make the right decision and I don't look back, and I just keep moving forward. Like, that's some of the self-talk. It's not exactly like that, but it's kind of like that. It's very specific, and it's very competent, and it feels good. So when you're with someone like that, when you feel that vibe, that is like, you can create that in your life, and you can be that, and you can attract that, and so when you're sharing your self-talk with, and they're doing it with you, not with you, but they have it on their phone and you have it on yours or whatever, because it's just an app. It's amazing. Okay, here goes the motorcycle. Doo-doo-doo. Yay! Whee! Partying here in Amarillo, Texas. I don't know that they're partying. They probably just got here and they're testing out their bikes. So anyway, my point is, look, that's a program. They're probably here and they're testing out their bikes, or they're partying. These are all programs. It's all programs, and it's so fun that you get to change it. It is such a gift. When you understand neuroplasticity, all of a sudden you're like, this is amazing. I can do anything with my brain, and I can change the programs. Hey, puppies! You can't see because it's too dark. Maybe you can. But anyway, you can't see. Feather is what I was trying to say. I don't think that you were able to see her. I don't know. Sometimes the camera picks up stuff. I can barely see her. So I love you so very, very much. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that when you think about today, the more I focus on making each day a day of purpose, enrichment, and fulfillment, the better I do and the happier I am. And I have told you from the very beginning that, not since we got here and I started doing these videos, I'm going to do my very best to show you can excel in times of change, and you can flow. You can put yourself into flow. And self-talk is it. Like, your self-talk that I got this. I'm not crumbling. Like, you can crumble for a moment, but you come back. It's your recovery. Like, your recovery is so quick. My recovery is so quick. Like, it's so quick. And I'm not down for days or weeks, and I'm not, just crying all day or mad all day or feeling like a victim all day. It's just like boing, and then I go through it. Well, it's not always boing. Sometimes I feel, sometimes it's like, dang it, I just really want to go home, and I'm real focused on going home. And now I'm getting my hubby, because of his brain, because this hospital psychosis, which is a very real thing, because he's been in the hospital since July 9th, with the exception of like 24 hours, to get here to Amarillo. I'm getting him having butter and fat for his brain and protein and just keto. I mean, literally carnivore, so that he is mostly fat, so that his brain can work. I was playing the self-talk every day, but he kind of got into a place where he doesn't want to listen to it, but I still put it on for him. So not always, but for the most part, almost every single day. I was doing it every single day. And then now he's a little more in control. He's like, turn that off. so I just leave it playing and let him turn it off. Anyway, I just put it lower. So because I know that it is rewiring his brain, even if it's low. So that's the story. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and for September 10th. And I never did read. Man, I never read this to you. Having talks with yourself can change your day. It can also rewire your brain. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. So I hope that, did they wave? Sometimes I see, like yesterday there was a cat walking in the video, or it was for the September 9th. There was a cat that walked across. It was the cat that got in a squabble with Charlie, our cat. It just walked across, then laid down, then it walked across. So anyway, let's do that for tomorrow, because it's already late and I'm already 36 minutes in. But so, cliffhanger. Now we'll read that. Having talks with yourself can change your day. It can also rewire your brain, because that's where we started. Like, are you talking to yourself? And how does that look mentally anymore? And it doesn't, but I'll just give you the little snapshot that you listen to that self-talk, and your self-talk changing, you talking to yourself and what you say to yourself when you talk to yourself, that is powerful. And the more positive, the more precise, the more you're telling your brain what it is to do for you, you're giving it the marching orders. That is basically what we're going to talk about tomorrow in this, and just all of this. It's so powerful. So cliffhanger until tomorrow. Yep, for September 11th. Ooh. So I love you so very, very much. Oh, you can do this. I know you probably wanted to hear it, but you'll hear it tomorrow. Now you have to tune in, because it's just so exciting, right? So we'll talk about that tomorrow for September 11th. And I love you so very, very much. If I didn't already say that, I believe in you. You can do this. You can find your purpose. You can absolutely find your purpose. You can activate it. You can do, be, create, have, change, absolutely anything in your life. You were born with unlimited promise and potential, and it's still there. It's only covered up with your programs, and you get to choose your programs. Is that not the most amazing thing ever? It's the most amazing toy, gift, whatever you want to call it, but it's very, very powerful here on planet Earth to have that brain. So make sure that you're eating enough fat, at least, a lot of good fat. However you live, just make sure that you're eating the good fat. Look into that, how the fat works, and in your brain, and understand ketones, understand glucose, and how that works. And it's really, really helpful to understand those things, because we can really get ourselves into places where our brains are not really functioning. And the self-talk is really wonderful, but you pair that with good, solid nutrition, the nutrients that really help your brain, and hydration, so your brain's hydrated, and you're going to even have like way off the chart better effects for yourself, better results. So I love you so very, very much. Yes, I've said that 50,000 times. And it's because I do. I absolutely do. I treasure my time with you. I absolutely do. As always, shining my light to brighten yours. And we will see you tomorrow, where we'll talk about, talking to yourself, as we already did. But we're going to get a little more detail into that tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow. Ciao.